Janssen Pharmaceutica is a pharmaceutical company headquartered in Beerse, Belgium. It was founded in 1953 by Paul Janssen. In 1961 Janssen Pharmaceutica was purchased by the American corporation Johnson & Johnson, and is now part of Johnson & Johnson Pharmaceutical Research and Development, which conducts research and development activities related to a wide range of human medical disorders, including mental illness, neurological disorders, anaesthesia and analgesia, gastrointestinal disorders, fungal infection, allergies and cancer. Janssen and Ortho-McNeil Pharmaceutical have been placed in the Ortho-McNeil-Janssen group within Johnson & Johnson. Its chairman and managing director is the Baron Ajit Shetty. Janssen and its parent company have allegedly been involved in marketing fraud scandals and multi-million-dollar litigation related to its antipsychotic Risperdal, accused of hiding adverse effects and bribing officials, including to promote its use among elderly patients with dementia and children with a range of conditions. History: the early roots of what would become Janssen Pharmaceuticals date back to 1933. In 1933 Constant Janssen, the father of Paul Janssen, acquired the right to distribute the pharmaceutical products of Richter, a Hungarian pharmaceutical company, for Belgium, the Netherlands and Belgian Congo. On October 23, 1934, he founded the NV Production Richter in Turnhout. In 1937 Constant Janssen acquired an old factory building in the Stadiestraat 78 in Turnhout for his growing company, which he expanded during World War II into a 4-story building. Still a student, Paul Janssen assisted in the development of Podolon. After the war, the name for the company products was changed to Eup Harmer, although the company name Richter would remain until 1956. Paul Janssen founded his own research laboratory in 1953 on the third floor of the building in the Stadiestraat, still within the Richter Pharma company of his father. In 1955, he and his team developed their first drug, Neumaritine, an antispasmodic found to be particularly effective for the relief of menstrual pain. On April 5, 1956, the name of the company was changed to NV Laboratoria Pharmaceutica C. Janssen. On April 27, 1957, the company opened a new research facility in Beerse, but the move to Beerse would not be completed until 1971 to 1972. On May 2, 1958, the research department in Beerse became a separate legal entity, the NV Research Laboratorium C. Janssen. On October 24, 1961, the company was acquired by the American corporation Johnson & Johnson. The negotiations with Johnson & Johnson were led by Frans van den Berg, head of the board of directors. On February 10, 1964, the name was changed to Janssen Pharmaceutica NV and the seat of the company in Turnhout was also transferred to Beerse. The company was led by Paul Janssen, Bob Strathysen and Frans van den Berg. When, in 1971 to 1972 the pharmaceutical production also moved to Beerse, the move from Turnhout was completed. Between 1990 and 2004, Janssen Pharmaceuticals expanded worldwide, and the company grew in size to about 28,000 employees worldwide. 4,600 of these were based in Belgium. From the beginning, Janssen Pharmaceuticals emphasized as its core activity research for the development of new drugs. The research department, which was established in Beerse in 1957, developed into a large research campus. In 1987, the Janssen Research Foundation was founded, which performs research into new drugs at Beerse and in other laboratories around the globe. Janssen Pharmaceuticals became the Flemish company with the largest budget for research and development. Beside the headquarters in Beerse with its research departments, pharmaceutical production and the administrative departments, Janssen Pharmaceuticals in Belgium still has offices in Berchem, a chemical factory in Geel, and Janssen Biotech in Olen. The chemical production plant in Geel makes the active ingredients for the Campania Euro unregistered trademark S medicines. In 1975, the first plant of a new chemical factory plant I was established in Geel. Plant 2 was opened in 1977, Plant 3 in 1984, and Plant 4 in 1995. In 1999 the remaining chemical production in Beerse was transferred to Geel. About 80% of its active components are manufactured here. The site in Kiel also manufactures about two-thirds of the worldwide chemical production of the pharmaceutical sector of Johnson & Johnson. In 1995, the Center for Molecular Design was founded by Paul Janssen and Paul Louis. In 1999, clinical research and non-clinical development became a global organization within Johnson & Johnson. In 2001, part of the research activities was transferred to the United States with the reorganization of research activities in the Janssen Johnson Pharmaceutical Research Development Organization. The research activities of the Janssen Research Foundation and the R.W. Johnson Pharmaceutical Research Institute were merged into the new Global Research Organization. A new building for pharmaceutical development was completed in Beerse in 2001. In 2002, a new logistics and informatics center was opened at a new site, Beerse 2. In 2003, two new research buildings were constructed, the Discovery Research Center and the Drug Safety Evaluation Center. On October 27, 2004, the Paul Janssen Research Center, for Discovery Research, was inaugurated. The success of Janssen Pharmaceuticals is commonly attributed to the vision of its founder, who himself was a brilliant scientist, but was also surrounded by talented and motivated employees, both scientifically and commercially. Paul Janssen created an environment which stimulated the creativity of his research workers. Controversies: juries in several U.S. states have found that Janssen Pharmaceuticals and its parent company Johnson & Johnson deceptively promoted the antipsychotic drug Risperdal. States that have awarded damages include Texas, South Carolina, Louisiana, and most notably Arkansas. The Attorney General stated, these two companies put profits before people, and they are rightfully being held responsible for their actions. In addition, the United States Department of Justice has been investigating Risperdal sales practices since 2004, and in 2010 joined a whistleblower's suit alleging bribes paid to Omnicare, the largest company supplying pharmaceutical drugs to nursing homes. The allegations include that J&J and Janssen were warned by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration not to promote Risperdal as effective and safe for elderly patients when in fact it is associated with early death, but they did so. And that they in fact bribed Omnicare pharmacists tens of millions of dollars to promote the drug to care home physicians for this unapproved use. A settlement has been provisionally agreed with J&J of around $2.2 billion for this and related allegations, with Omnicare having already settled for around $100 million. Former head of sales and president of Janssen, Alex Gorski, who the Department of Justice say who is actively involved in the fraud, has nevertheless become the new CEO of Johnson & Johnson. Janssen Pharmaceuticals in China. In 1985, Janssen Pharmaceuticals was the first Western pharmaceutical company to set up a pharmaceutical factory in the People's Republic of China. Already in 1983, Janssen had signed a cooperation contract to modernize products in an existing, but old, chemical factory in Hanzhong and to produce the active compound of some Janssen products, such as mebendazole. Paul Appamont and Jules Horson were responsible for the project. In 1976 Paul Janssen had met the Lebanese-American Dr. George Shafik Hatem, who was known in China under the name Mahade. Paul Janssen met with Mahade for 3 days in 1976, and decided to start a business in China right after the Cultural Revolution and the opening to the West by Deng Xiaoping in 1978. The first factory was set up by Jules Horson in Hanzhong, after which the second and larger factory followed in Xi'an. Some drugs developed by Janssen Pharmaceutica. Janssen Pharmaceuticals has developed and brought to the market about 70 new active substances, of which the most well-known are, Imodium, Motilium, Reminol. Active substance, galantamine, Dactarin, Nizoral, Duragesic, Vermax, Risperdal. 6 drugs of Janssen Pharmaceuticals have been included on the WHO model list of essential medicines: Haldol, Ergomisol, Dactarin, Vermax, Nizoral, Risperdal since 2013. Bedaquiline is an diarylquinolin anti-tuberculosis drug, discovered by Cohen Andres and his team, which promises a shorter and simpler treatment for tuberculosis. See also Didier de Chaffoy de Corsals, Paul Stoffels, Staffan Riet, Jan Scherux, Tebutk, Verco, Rager Institute for Medical Research, Drug Development, Nanovid Microscopy, Flanders Bio, Joan Damon, List of companies of Belgium, List of pharmaceutical companies, references. Sources: Magills, Gerard. Paul Janssen, a Euro pioneer in pharma in China. Antwerp, Amsterdam, Houtiquier. ISBN 978-90-5240-827-9. External links: Janssen Silag, Janssen Pharmaceutica, E a registered trademark Permel EZA paragraph EO Permel E unregistered trademark /Xian Janssen.